Hey, have you thought of manifesting by deceiving the devil with his own deceptions? So, when you go to sleep and you're going to manifest through thinking of how you want to envision your life, how you want to see a scenario happen, and feeling it, embodying the feeling before it happens, living in the end state, and crazy faith, thermodynamically embodying and generating the entire experience, living it neuroplastically before it happens. Okay? So, one thing about the devil is he's not very smart. He's very persistent, but not very smart. So, he will persist with this looping system, this default, almost diabolic, broken, fragmented, dysregulated nervous system situation that we have inherited and been given since birth. So he will work with that. He will, our whole lives, try to dysregulate us, get our right prefrontal cortex dysregulated, flooding, get the amygdala going, and send our left prefrontal cortex offline so that we can't counter, take every thought captive, every feeling, emotional thought, frequency, resonation, that captive. So, but we can. Maybe not in terms of considering, water going from water to ice, because there's a freezing point in there, and in that freezing point, what we're doing wrong with manifesting is we want to go from point A to point B instantly. Overnight, sure. But there's that freezing point, that few seconds where everything's fine with water and then boom, freezing starts. Yes, so the thoughts he gives us, the self-doubt, I'm not going to have enough money, it's not going to be here by tomorrow, it's not going to be here by in 5 days, they're going to take 20 days, they're going to fulfill my fears and worst dreams and take as long as drag their heels, long as I'm expecting, and all this ruminating, whatever it is, if we're expecting money. God has created everything we're going to ever need from the foundation of the world. And creation is finished. So everything we will ever need as children of God is complete. Now the devil works with ownership. He owns us if we're believing and buying into his looping system beliefs and doubts and visions and auditory things he's putting in our ear, that we've picked up along the way or ourselves have thought. And these distorted audio frequencies that we have heard and chosen to keep bits and pieces of for our own accord, by our own accord. And so he has these projections, these mental projections, and we can break these soul ties because by now we are ultimately triangulated with demonic strongholds, diabolic, subconscious, prefrontal cortex, amygdala dysregulation, distortions, and they ruminate all day, and especially at night. They consolidate when we rest and repair. Our brain consolidates the day's activities. So the last thing before we go to bed that we want to do is ruminate the fears, the lies, the BS system, images, thoughts, sounds that he puts into our mind, our imagination, our trauma looping system. So they're going to be there, but we can tweak them at the freezing point. We can't jump into the end point from the beginning point without the middle point. There has to be a middle point of change. The starting point is the nothingness. I mean, the enemy, this devil, Satan, he's a liar. He's the father of lies. So it doesn't matter what he says. It's already a lie, and a lie means nothing because God has already won. And over here, at the end point, God has already created, at the end point to us, God has already created everything that we will ever need and want. So we are stuck over here, ruminating all the time, trying to get over here. Missing the midpoint. We can't jump from here to here. We have to bridge this gap with our own intercession. We have to intercede for ourselves. Now, we were not commanded that we have to tell the devil the truth. However, lying to the devil with bits and pieces of truth is not lying. I mean, we're commanded to speak to the devil in scripture, but in terms of arguing, intellectualizing with him the truth of how people get decreeing and confessing wrong, is they'll go about arguing with reality from the end point vantage when the ruminating looping is still over here, alive and well and blaring, screaming, blazing on. And we need to get to the halfway point, the foot in the door. So if he's going to give a vision of lack, sure, the entire vision of lack, that may be so, devil. But you see that one little spot? That little purple dot? Yeah, I put that there as a reminder for you. You know, you can see a little dot sometimes on a picture. You try to take a good picture and there's a little spot of light, something. There's always something that, in essence, ruins something, like, that could be good. In his case, you want to ruin a little spot. We might not want to try to hold wrestling matches with Satan and his Egyptian magics. I mean, we're not able to beat him. Only God can beat him. But through God, we can beat him, even if we cast a shadow of a doubt. And that's all he does to us. He just plants seeds, little nuggets, little subtle things. And we've been trying to beat him full force. No, Satan, this is the way it's going to be, this is the way it is, and what have you. What about that little subtle? Cast a little doubt, change his little story, tweak, embellish that little white lie, that fib, that half-truth. Whatever it is you can come up with against your circumstances, change them a little at a time. And before you go to bed, envision that little new part. That's all you got to do. You don't got a mustard seed. You don't got to generate an entire endpoint, an entire frozen end result. You don't want to do the linear time thing. You want to do the supernatural everywhere at once thing. So everywhere at once, God spoke. And light was. He spoke. So when we speak, in the grand scheme of things, I mean, you can have 100 laborers building a house. If that's the midpoint, the end result. And that's a lot of work, toiling. But even smaller than that, and that's a lot of efforting. Even smaller than that was the one who puts in motion, hey, I need this house. They speak it. They say a little thing. Okay, great, got it. And the guys go off and they do all this major work. You just speak a little thing, and the looping system will stop in its tracks and say, hey, that's a different thing that we've been practicing and rehearsing for 500 years, however long it's been. And the brain will start to consolidate a new neural pathway. It says, okay, I'm not sure about this. And the brain will go off. I mean, we're already in trauma mode and survival mode with trying to stay afloat based on the enemy's lies and visions we're seeing as it is, what is 10 more minutes difference if the nervous system says, hey, we might need backup here, we got a new vision, something's going wrong, it's challenging. But it's not, because it's not switching the entire loop, just a little spot of it. But with that little foothold, that little mustard seed, and the faith that you have in that, the power to speak, to change something, and to feel and assume, that spot is what's gonna screw up his whole mission, then it will. So leave a comment, leave a note, whatever you're going to do. Let me know what happens, how anything has changed, how you've manifested something in this new way.